The markets briefly rebounded, and the Turkish lira did spike versus the U.S. dollar after a report that Qatar is moving to potentially bail out Turkey with a $15 billion loan in Turkey. Turkish President Erdogan continuing his threats against the U.S. today, raising tariffs on 21 different items imported from the U.S. Everything from cars to alcohol and tobacco. The tariffs are expected to raise a little over $500 million in revenue. They're in addition to Turkey's threat to ban all U.S. electronics like Apple iPhones. But let's put this in perspective. China recently announced retaliatory tariffs on $60 billion worth of U.S. goods. Here's the president tweeting, quote, "Our country was built on tariffs. Tariffs are now leading us to great new trade deals as opposed to the horrible and unfair trade deals I inherited as your president. Other countries should not be allowed to come in and steal the wealth of our great USA. No longer." Let's bring in the market power panel, the money gurus. Look who's here. Mike Lee from Investmark Advisory and Gary B. Smith from Kadina. Gary, what do you think of the Turkey tantrum? Is there going to be contagion here?
No, I don't think so. It reminds me very much, Liz, of the Greek crisis, if you will. Everyone was all up in arms. Greek is going to bring the world down. The EU was collapsing. And if you had bought any time during that time frame, even before the market sold off in about 2015 or so, you'd be up 40–50% since then. You got to remember, Liz, Turkey's economy is about the size of Florida. So if Florida had seceded from the U.S. and had a temper tantrum, everyone would go, okay, let's move on. Yeah. I think that should be the case.
And to Gary's point, Mike, the first responders in the markets are the central banks. I mean, they stepped in 2010. They stepped in 1998 to help bail out that hedge fund, long-term capital management, over the Russian ruble crisis and then Thai baht. Here's the thing. I mean, is this a buy in the dip scenario? Or do you think this is going to get worse?
I think this is absolutely a buy in the dip scenario. I think Gary's 100% right in that Greece proved to be nothing, but the knock-on effects of Greece and possibly being the first domino to break apart the EU, that had far bigger knock-on effects than what we're seeing with Turkey. The problem with Turkey is they are a NATO member, and now you've gone from an official who was kind of a pseudo-elected president to somebody that looks to consolidate power. Yeah. So when you have dictators and total control over your country's economy, that doesn't bode well for currency or for economic growth, especially when you're locking up journalists left and right.
And the issue for Turkey is they can use the U.S. as a scapegoat to still plow through really bad economic policies like borrowing a lot of money from European-backed banks, notably in Spain, in U.S. dollars and paying back with a plunging Turkish currency. You know, the thing is, guys, the local Turkish court did just again reject a U.S. appeal to release that detained American pastor, Andrew Brunson. Here's Dr. Zuhdi Jasser weighing in on that. Watch.
The country labeled by almost every human rights organization as the one that treats journalists the worst, has imprisoned thousands of journalists, is Turkey. Erdogan is a two-bit dictator that has transformed a so-called NATO country into a theocracy. And here you have prisoner Andrew Brunson, who is heroically representing the tip of the iceberg of a much bigger problem. They want to threaten American interests. They're anti-Semitic, anti-Western, anti-Israel. They've radicalized ISIS. They're functioning not like a democracy, but rather like a dictatorship. He's exploiting the fact that he's in NATO in order to do these things under the radar.
Yeah, that's the point, Gary B. And the White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders, Gary B., said today that the steel tariffs would stay in place even if they do release the pastor. The Trump administration really hanging tough here. Your reaction there?
Well, it's interesting, Liz, is that very rarely, I guess, are diplomatic issues fought with economic sanctions. That's normally a State Department. We trade some of theirs for they trade some of ours, kind of like we've done many years with Russia. It's an interesting tactic with Trump. I wonder if he has a bigger game plan, if he's using that, the tariffs, if you will, economic sanctions, I throw them under, as his ultimate trump card, and he has a bigger picture. I guess I applaud him because I certainly think it's going to bring Turkey to heel. Yeah, to your point, the Turkey trade by the numbers, Michael, in 2017, I mean, the U.S., it's in the tens of millions of dollars. Let's just face it. It's not a big game-changing moment with how much Turkey trades with the U.S. The bigger problem, Michael, is that Turkey could say, you know what,
the U.S. is the bad guy here, then scapegoat the U.S., and then they continue to act really poorly and side more closely with Iran and Russia. So it's a geopolitical issue. We're in a slippery August month with low volume, so investors should just watch their money, and it might be a little bit of a rough ride. You're taking all of that.
Well, look, I think we were getting back up near the highs for the year, and something small just kind of took us off that, and we're not down a ton. We're only a couple of percent away from the high. And Turkey is a relatively small economy on the geopolitical scale, but that axis with Iran and Russia, the geopolitical knock-on effects. But I'll ask you, if we didn't do these tariffs, what's to stop them from doing things with Iran and Russia to begin with? So maybe this pastor is the beginning of more tougher foreign policy stance on Turkey to come.
Let's get to the Trump administration hammering out a trade deal with Mexico. It looks like it's coming in, could be close. Canada is still the wild card. Gary B., what does this mean for the U.S. economy?
Well, I think if we get a new look, I don't think probably the old trade agreement was all that bad. But if we get a new one, and certainly Mexico, and I'm betting Canada will make concessions, I think it's going to be terrific for our economy. And here's the reason I think it's going to happen. You have countries that are geographically right next to the U.S. They've always been our allies. They've always been our friends. This is in everyone's best interest, and maybe Canada and Mexico don't view it like that. But again, they see the U.S. We're the big guy in the economic landscape. I think something as good is going to come. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in the next week or so.
This is really, Michael, about a car-making deal as well, right? It's affecting both countries' car industries, right, Michael?
Yes, and then just to continue on with what Gary was saying, all these other countries need the U.S. far more than we need them. And then in the situation where Canada and Mexico, there was always going to be a deal done. In just that they are good allies. Canada probably our closest ally. So, look, this is good news. And I think this, along with the EU tariffs, that this heavy-handed tactics by Trump seem to be working in some of these cases pretty all right.
Mike and Gary B., you guys are great. Come back soon.